Hey, family. It's your girl, Mama C, and we're back with another episode of Two Black Mothers. And I have some guest co hosts in the building with me tonight. I have a returning guest who's come on and to save my butt numerous times. We have Lloyd C in the building.
Good evening.
Good evening. And we have a special co host, first time coming to the panel. We have Golden One.
Hey y'all.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Make sure you all hit the subscribe, like, and share. Don't forget the notification bell button, and make sure you leave your comments below. And we'll always be sure to get back with you. I'm going to let this banner go through a couple of times. Lord C doesn't like it at the bottom, so we're going to take it off. But I'm going to let it go through a couple of times so people know this is for entertainment purposes only, and this is our opinions. Only review our own opinion, expressions of the guests in the comments, and it's just for entertainment purposes only. All right, so let's get started. I want to start off with where we left off yesterday. Two Black Mothers left off yesterday. We was talking about the food critic Keith Lee, and Keith Lee did a partnership with Pizza Hut, and they did a community pizza. Keith Lee is about giving, he's about the community, he's very loving, have a warm heart, but he partnered with Pizza Hut, and Pizza Hut has been on the blacklist for a little while now. They are facing boycott for some of the stuff that they did to help out with the war that is going on overseas. So he faced a lot of backlash with this partnership, and he spoke about it. And I will show you what he said yesterday. So he did a video yesterday. It was removed. And he told us why it was removed. So I'm going to show that video.
Today has been spent with me looking everywhere for these. And when I say everywhere, I went to 4 different stores, but I finally found them. I haven't been this excited in a minute. I can't wait.
Turn it up, T.
Rating 1 through 10. I spent $13.99. I can't lie, I'm extremely excited. But before I get into
Wow.
it, the video that I posted yesterday got taken out because of some of the language that I used. But I said what I said, and I'm standing on it. And let's get straight to it.
So basically, he said the video got taken down yesterday because of some of the language he used. Now, I saw the video yesterday. I didn't think he used any type of vulgar language that will cause the video to get removed. I don't know why TikTok removed the video. But I saw the video yesterday. I tried to play it on the podcast last night, but before I could play it, it had got taken down. So I don't know why the video was removed yesterday. Okay.
Can I interject here, please?
Always.
So I was watching Roland Martin yesterday on the gentleman who owns 2B. He has FFC rights. I guess that's the airwave rights for TikTok. He has it for YouTube. And the syntax, am I saying that word correctly? You all help me if I'm saying it wrong. Help me out. The syntax that they use, it could be a FFC violation. For instance, if you're doing a health and wellness video on YouTube, you have this first disclaimer: I am not a doctor. This is not medical advice. Please contact your physician. Da, da, da. So it's certain jargon that the powers that be have put into place. Remember, he's of color, and he's dealing with a huge conglomerate based on I want to say this to everybody. I have 38 years and 1 month of service in the military. War is not looked at by the organization of the military like civilians, like I'm assuming civilians look at it. It's a business. So there's money to be made. So when we go to war, the first war that I was introduced to and I had 11 people under me. I had to do a casualty count. How many people I will lose? How many people will get wounded? How much money do I estimate we will spend a month? It's a business plan. So I just want people to be clear, whether it's the United States or any other country, this all is a business plan. War is about revenue. So I want us to be clear about that. It's not just for some folks, in my opinion, it's about humanity. For the powers that be, it is not. I'm done.
Okay, no, that's fine. Since we're sitting here talking about war, yesterday, two Black mothers, we touched on people who have a platform, who have a voice, and who can use that voice to speak out against different wars. And that is how the block list has been created, because we have individuals in power who have a voice, influencers they're in power, not political power, but they have power in their voice, that are not speaking out. So we have individuals that saying, if you're not going to speak out against or say something about it, we should take your power away, meaning we're going to take your voice away.
Mm,
You disagree, Lord C?
I do. Number one, number one, let's go back to freedom of speech, freedom of choice, freedom to be who and do what I am. As long as I'm not disrespecting anyone, I'm not hurting anyone, killing or maiming. And for me, most of all, as long as I'm not disrespecting the Most High. So for someone to tell someone else, I'm going to take away your voice, I think that's very arrogant of them, and I'm not in agreement with that.
Okay. So when we say take away your voice, we're talking about taking away your power, your platform. When we saying that, because your voice cannot be taken away from us, but we're talking about your platform, your voice. When I say your voice, I'm talking about your platform.
And
so you
I got
feel that people that has that platform should not speak, should be held accountable for not saying things that should be said.
Okay, so let me say this to you, and I understand the part about the platform, and I meant that too when we was talking about voices. I am who I am. You are who you are. Golden is who she is. So Golden is not going to agree with everything that I do. I'm not going to agree with everything she does. I'm not going to agree with everything Mama C does. Mama C not going to agree with everything Lord C does or say. So no, I think okay, we're supposed to be living in the land of the free. You can have a platform on anything you choose to have on. Some things are just not priority or important to everyone. And again, I'm gonna go back to, and I'm gonna use people of color versus the power that be. So yes, we have platforms. We don't own the platforms in which people can view them on. They're still owned by the powers that be. So they can change. They can say your syntax is not what we want to hear, or if they don't want to hear you, period, they can just not put
You're cutting
you
out.
on.
You're cutting
So
out.
when you think about it in retrospect, so when okay, so when can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
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 Okay.
I
So when you
can.
think of it in that frame of thought, I don't think it's fair for someone to say, okay, your platform is for this, whatever you choose your platform to be. I don't think it's fair, and I think it's arrogant of the powers that be or whomever to say we're going to take your platform.
Yeah, it's
That's
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Golden.
Is the platform being taken away because a person or an entity may not speak at all? Or is it being taken away because they may say something that's in opposition to what the powers that be want them to say?
So the platform is not been taken away. The platform is TikTok. That's a platform. The platform could be IG or Facebook. That's their platform. That's not been taken away. What is being taken away is their power to influence others.
So is the power being taken away because they're not speaking at all? So my question is, would the same power be taken away if they did speak, but if they spoke in opposition to what the powers that be want them to say. So is it
I
really a
agree.
matter of them
we,
speaking?
we have no, I don't think so, because we have people, influencers are, some are against and some are for. I think most of the time they don't say anything because they're for, and they're scared of any type of uh
Repercussion.
repercussion that may come their way, because they will speak for this thing that has happened. But instead of saying they're not saying anything. You can sit on your platform and try to influence me to buy some Spanx, but you don't want to sit on your platform and try to say, hey, wake up, look at what's going on in the world out here. And it doesn't have to be on the war, but anything that's happening right here in this nation. So
Right.
it's okay for you to speak and say, hey, go buy that burger, but it's not okay for you to say, hey, listen up. Them diamonds that you are wearing comes from those 2-year-olds that's out there dying of blood to get this.
Child labor. Yeah.
So that's where you have to be able to say something. Something. If you want me to buy these items, like the whole thing with Pizza Hut, we're boycotting Pizza Hut per se because Pizza Hut did something wrong, but you partnered with Pizza Hut to tell me to go buy this pizza. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You can use your voice to influence me to spend my money, but you don't want to use your voice to influence me to do some greater good for the world. That's what
Okay.
we're saying.
May I
Well,
interject? Go
Yes.
ahead, Golden. Go
yeah, I
ahead,
was just
Golden.
gonna say, I think I'm with Lord C on that, because I mean, even as a business entity, it should still be my choice. It should still be my freedom of voice, freedom of speech. And so, I think I'm with Lord C on that in
Okay.
regards to the platform or the power being taken away.
Okay. Got it. I don't. I disagree. I feel that you use your platform to influence me to spend my money. You should use your platform for the greater good as well, or the greater something as well. It doesn't have to be my good, but it needs to be something that is greater than yourself, at least a little bit, 10% of the time that you're using your platform. I really do feel that it needs to be that, because you're making so much money out here influencing people to do this, and this, but you can't influence them. It doesn't even have to be against the war. Can you not influence them to get up and vote? Can you
Well, I
not
mean,
influence them to look at the candidates that's out here right now? That type of influence. And we're having social media influencers right now who are not doing none of that. Go
yeah, for
ahead.
May I
me,
interject? Go ahead, Golden.
no, you go ahead, Lord C. Go ahead.
What I want to say based on what Mama C just said. Mama C, I'm gonna use myself as an example. I don't know anything about this technology junk, so I had no idea that Pizza Hut was on a blacklist. Now I'm of color, and neither one of you all called me, so that's not fair.
Okay.
If I want to use my platform that I paid for and built for
Mm-hmm.
whatever I want to use it for, that's my business. And as a free citizen, which we know we're not free, and no one has to tell me, no one has the right to tell me what I can use it for. Just like you using your car to pick up homeless people when we should be picking up homeless people? No, because it's your
I wouldn't
car.
use my Lexus, not my Lexus. Now, I
Right.
may
So
rent a van to go pick up some homeless people, but I'm not
right.
using.
And so my point exactly, you're not going to use that Lexus because it's still a vehicle. It's yours, and you have a
Yeah.
right to choose and do what you want. And for me, picking up homeless people may not be a concern or priority for you. And when we talked about making lots of money, for me, I have learned what is a lot. If you're not making $1 million a minute, which is possible, you're not making a lot of money compared to the powers that be that makes trillions of dollars in 2 seconds every time we walk into Wally World or pick up these cell phones and pay $7,000 for a damn iPhone. Excuse me, iPhone. I don't give a damn. So who has the power to say that I cannot bring my brand, present it on these electronic platforms, and say that's what I want to do? And then when I make my money, I want to go home and I can do whatever I choose with my money, because this is a society, in my opinion, that we grew up in for centuries, that our ancestors have dealt with, and this is nothing new. And I'll say to you, I knew nothing about Pizza Hut being on the blacklist. I did know the young man that you displayed. I've seen him before. However, is it about what's right for humanity and all, or is that young man making his bag?
Well, actuality, he didn't make his bag. He partnered with Pizza Hut to give back to the community. He actually did great with the what he was doing. He partnered with Pizza Hut to raise funds. He raised $50,000 and he gave $25,000 to two different schools to help them out. So what he did was he used his platform for the greater good. Okay. So he did that. But in return, Pizza Hut was on a boycott list. Now, one of the influencers said Pizza Hut knew they was on a boycott list. Pizza Hut knew that. What did Pizza Hut do? Pizza Hut went to go get one of the biggest influencers out there to make their sales.
Absolutely. It was about making, thank you for letting me interject. It was about making the bag. A lot of business people, whether it's an influencer or a car dealer or a doctor, everything in America, because we have this democracy that we live in, or this capitalist society is what the influencer are calling it. People want to make their bag. So like my military experience, when I went to the commander and said, I cannot afford to lose not one soldier, the commander said to me, I don't care. I have a requirement that I have to meet, and you're going to help me meet it. If all of your staff member perished, then so be it, because it's about the mission of the Army. And I told him, hell no. And y'all know I got in trouble because I value life over $2.
Right.
And so, like I say, if it's not someone else's priority, or if they don't, I'll tell you this: if you don't care, it does not matter. And we know a lot of businesses, especially the conglomerates that we know, it's about making their profit. So that's my take on that.
Okay. Golden One, I know you had something to say, Kate.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we have to be careful also, because sometimes you don't really know why a person or a business entity or organization may not speak out on certain things. I see a lot of stuff on social media that I want to speak out on, but being an investigator, there are some things that I cannot speak out on, especially being an investigator that conducts investigations dealing with employee relations. I can't speak out on a lot of things that deal with racial issues. I cannot speak out on some things. And then if I do, I'm still limited sometimes as to what I can say, and depending on who is involved in that situation. If I see someone involved in that situation that I may potentially investigate one day, I won't say anything at all. And it's not necessarily because I don't want to use my voice for the greater good. It's just that I have to secure, my business and what I'm doing in my livelihood. And I'm, kind of bound by oath to not say anything. So you have to look at that too. So I think that it's unfair just to look at a business entity as a whole and say, well, these people are not utilizing their voice, or this company is not utilizing its voice. You can't just look at you can't put a blanket over it. It's not just one situation. You have to look at individual situations, because you never know why an entity is not using their voice.
Okay. I get that. So should we give those entities a pass every single time they don't say anything?
It just all depends. Again, I think it's situation by situation. It can't just be a blanket statement for me. Because in my case, would you give me a pass every time I don't say anything about a particular subject?
I would not.
Lord, see.
I would not. I would not give you a pass, Golden. Number one, for the little times that I have known you and what I see in you, I would not give you a pass. However, I am not going to have that discussion on a massive platform. That'll be something we'll sit down at the table and I'll drink water and you'll drink what you drink, or we'll be in the car and we can go back and forth and we can lay each other out and then we can kiss and make up later. Because those things for me are personal. And I think what you said, I agree with you to a certain extent. I think we have been taught that you keep your mouth closed if you don't want to lose your life or a family member, or if you want to keep your job so you can pay your bills and things like that. So for me personally, I don't think we have a real freedom in America.
Right.
Just because someone disagree with you, I don't think there should be silence, and it's not fair for me, in my opinion, and in my world. It's not fair in the position that you are. If you are disagreement with someone, whether you're investigating or not, you disagree, and we're going to disagree. That's how life goes. But I don't think you should be silenced because you you may fear retaliation, or they may remove you from the position, or they may call you out of your name or hurt a family member. That's what I'm not in agreement with. That's why I said earlier, if you don't care, it does not matter. So when the colonel said to me, it's nothing that I can do about losing soldiers, because I am, and I was working diligently at completing the mission and keeping my soldiers alive, and I was reprimanded for it because I care too much. So that's my personal take on what you just said.
And let me add this. I also would say that sometimes you may not utilize the platform that's visible to everyone, but you may have a sidebar conversation. As you indicated, you may say, "Let's talk in the car," or "Let's have
Yes,
a conversation," and you
yeah,
may influence the situation in other ways. There's
absolutely,
more than one way to influence the situation, and sometimes you can influence a situation behind the scenes by doing
absolutely.
other things versus just voicing your opinion or whatever on a particular platform. Because
I
I
agree.
always speak up and voice my opinion and am an advocate for those who don't realize they have a voice. But sometimes I choose not to do it on certain platforms.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. And I think that's the Mama C. I think that's as far as the voice, I just like Golden One had reiterated, I think a lot of people believe they do not have a voice depending on the opponent.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a different relationship when you're talking to your child and the child is talking to their parent, or a influencer is talking to a huge conglomerate that could possibly make them or break them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's my personal take on that. That's why I said to Golden, we'll sit at the kitchen table, or we'll go get in the car and we'll go back
Right.
and forth with one another. What of us believe, and we might, well, hell, I disagree with you, and da da da, and then we'll have that, and then we'll kiss and make up, and we'll go on about our lives. Because at the end of the day, for me, I believe we don't have the freedom that we should have. I don't feel as though our lives as spiritual beings having a human experience is value. At any day now, the government can cut off our phones, take away the internet, poison our food, remove us from our jobs, or hike milk up to $7.
Hike who
And
up? Dollars?
milk,
Sorry.
milk.
Milk.
It's
So,
already
so
there.
yeah, so the gallon milk here in Maryland, depending on what you're purchasing, it's at $5. As I
Mm.
was talking to you earlier, my cousin, she had picked up a 6 pack of ballpark Frank's hot dogs, and they were $7.99. And I told her she's not going to get those, to put them back. And then she has a friend who's an economist, and I called him and I said, "Why is this being done?" And he specifically said, "They know that we are going to buy it." so they do it. And when he meant we, he meant people. You say black, I say people of color, because we're the biggest consumers in America. And people of, I think a lot of people of color don't realize that that is our power. If we stop being such big consumers, a lot of things will shift. I'm done.
No, I want to go into do you have a response for him before I go into this one?
No, but I do want to give an example. A week or so ago, I had pretty much a situation to occur to where I could have spoken on a broad platform, and I did not. But I did call a meeting with the powers that be, and I spoke to them directly. And there was an immediate change. If I had spoken on the platform, the change would have come, but I don't know if it would have come as quickly. So I went to the powers that be. I spoke to them. We had a sidebar meeting, sidebar conversation, and the situation immediately changed. And it positively affected someone's life who was in a negative situation.
Absolutely.
So sometimes you may not utilize the platform that's visible to everyone, but that doesn't mean that you're not using your voice.
Absolutely.
I agree with you. I agree with you with that. To give an example to that. So I wasn't a huge fan of Michael Jordan. I wasn't a fan of him at all because I felt that he did not speak up or represent Black people to the fullest. I felt that his shoes was overpriced, and you people, were over by these shoes because it was Michael Jordan. I just felt that it was just too. He was called himself the Black Jesus, and it was a lot. So I wasn't a fan of him at all. Not his game. I think he is the best out there. I just wasn't a fan of him as a man. So I watched his documentary about him. I love documentaries, but I watched the documentary about the whole game thing. I think it was called, I don't know. It's a documentary on Netflix that ESPN did about that last championship that they won.
Oh yeah.
Right, I saw that.
And in the documentary, he said that he got so much slack that he did not come to some senator that was running for something in Chicago. He got so much slack because he didn't come and give support to that Black senator. He got so much slack for that. But he wrote a check to the campaign. But no one said anything about that check he wrote to the campaign. And the reason why he did not come and say anything is because he says white people wear Nikes too. That's what he said. White people wear Nikes too. So he didn't want to tarnish his brand for coming to support this Black senator, but he gave money. Now, at his billionaire status, he still doesn't speak out a lot, but he do more for the community now because he is away from.
Golden One, can you see and hear her?
Yes, I can. Can you?
Okay, she just came back in. Yeah, she just came back in.
Yeah.
He is away from the brand that he was at the beginning of his road to wherever he is now. He's away from that. He's away so he can speak more, but he's still one of those individuals that never say too much of anything about what's going on in the world. He is one of those who you will rarely hear his side of the story. You will rarely hear where he's coming from, but guess what? He is not on that damn blacklist. BlockList. He's not on there. So I say all of that to say we pick and choose who we really want to block. They do. They pick and choose to what they really want to block. But I still respect him as a man because I know that he has given more to the community. I've done my work and saw he does give a lot to the community. He does give a lot back to us. But he still doesn't use his voice as much as I think he can.
So in that situation, how do you feel about that?
About what? That he's not
about the fact that he does, write checks, but he doesn't utilize his voice, as much as some would think he should.
I feel 50-50 on that because I'm feeling better towards him. Let's just say that, because before I didn't like him at all. Could not stand him as a man at all because I just felt that he didn't do anything. But after watching that documentary, looking more into it, he has done stuff, but he's just haven't spoke um out on it. Let's just say that. So I feel 50-50 about that. I don't wear his shoes or nothing, not because I'm not a tennis shoe person. I will wear, if he had a nice little outfit for a female, I will probably wear it. I will probably support him, but I'm not running out to get his shoes. I'm not because of, just because of his style thing, not because he
Right.
doesn't stand on
Right.
anything, but just because of their style thing. I think he still have a long way to go. I think he still have a long way to go, but he has given a lot of money back to the Black community, a lot of money back to the community, and I commend him from that. And hopefully he still, gives the money, but hopefully he will eventually use his voice for something more powerful than selling them shoes. Lord C, are you
May I
there?
interject?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Can you hear me and see me? I would
Yes,
like to
we can hear you.
interject.
Okay, go ahead.
So I had a conversation with one of my professors who's now retired from Howard University, who is a personal friend of that family.
Okay.
And so, according to what was said to me, when the powers that be killed his dad, that was their way of leading the horse. So when I say leading
Mm-hmm.
the horse, I'm talking about Jordan. So just like Golden One said about 2 minutes ago, the powers that be. So the question I always ask myself, when are we going to be the powers that be? That's the biggest obstacle as a whole, in my opinion, of color people, because we are not the powers that be. We depend on the powers that be for a lot of things. And when we have that power, when we possess that power, then things will change. Just like I was trying to explain to some friends that kept saying that Obama didn't do anything for people of color. I said, you don't know if his family was threatened, what he was told that he had to do, and so forth. And I think a lot of times when former President Obama spoke, he spoke in code. He said at the very beginning of the inauguration, he said, "This is our presidency. Let's talk." He was talking to people who has hue in their skin color, and that didn't happen. So, based on the conversation that I had with the former professor about Jordan and his family and the powers that be that transitioned his father, that was the carrot dangled in front of the horse. You will follow, and or this will happen, that will happen, and so forth and so on. And for me, in my experiences, I don't care for color people. In my experience, how senior they're positioned, how much money they have. It's always someone above them that can guide and lead. That's why I said, so I'll go back to how much freedom do we really, really have? For instance, former President Trump said, if I'm not
Trump.
elected as president in 24, that there would be a blood bath. I have not heard anyone on a non-platform, no, let me take that back, on a massive platform as social media or personally address what, in your opinion, does that mean? Does that mean people who look like us are going to be dying? Or we're going to go back to Jim Crow 2.5? Jennifer Lewis, the famous actress Jennifer Lewis, said Trump is going to put all people of color in camps, in imprisonment camps. That was her right. That's her opinion. But she said that on a public platform. And I forget the other actress that said something else. Oh, it's going to be a dictatorship. I was in the grocery store the other day, and the senior Caucasian male said to me, "Why did I did not have on my red Trump hat that says let's make America great again. So I asked them, for you as a white man, what did that mean? Because for me as a man of color, making America great again, which I never assumed America was great, it means two different things. So the overall question for me is, yes, we can have money and an illusion of power, but do we really have it? Michael Jordan, this millionaire, he's was or is a phenomenal basketball player. However, can he just do and say what he want when he want to? You answered that question, in my opinion, when you said white people wear Nikes. I'm like, and I don't care about no. I get my shoes from Walmart. I ain't afraid to say it. So I'm like, oh, when he said white people wear Nikes, why are we as people of color always concerned about what they think and feel? I'm done.
Golden, do you have something to say?
No.
Okay.
I agree with what Lord C said in regards to the powers that be. You know, when are we going to be the powers that be? And, you know, I do believe that if we had that power, everything would shift. You know, but I also believe that it starts with us when we realize that we are the superior being. I believe that, you know, powers will start to shift, but we have to do a lot and come together for that to happen.
I agree.
100%. So earlier we was talking about these grocery prices, and me and Nancy Drew last night spoke about it, but I'll show you a clip and we'll talk about it tonight as well.
What about, I mean, but there's real pain. I mean, grocery prices are up 30%, more than 30%. Since the beginning of the pandemic, and people are spending more on food and groceries than they have at any time really in the past 30 years. I mean, that's a real day-to-day pain that people
feel. It really is, and it's real. But the fact is that if you take a look at what the people have, they have the money to spend. It angers them and angers me that you have to spend more.
So this is a really bizarre.
So I'll leave it there and get your take on it.
Golden one, you can go first, sweetheart.
Yeah, I just, you know, I'm not going to say much about our President Biden. That statement alone, they have the money to spend, just confirms for me even more so that he's just out of touch. And whether it's, you know, reality or sanity or what have you, to me, he's just out of touch, because having the money to spend on a loaf of bread and choosing between that bread for your family versus gas or something else for your family, that's not really having the money to spend. That's having to choose between whether I'm going to eat or whether I'm going to do something else. And so, you know, whoever is writing his responses or helping him with these responses or informing him prior to these interviews, I mean, they need to be fired also, because they're out of touch as well. And that's just a ridiculous response to me. I mean, so, but I just, you know, when you have Biden and Trump, of course, it's Biden for me, but I just feel like he's just out of touch.
I don't think he had anyone writing that response. I don't know if that was a fly-in question or if it was a prep question. I don't even think he heard the question. I think he may have fell asleep or his hearing aid cut off prior to the full question coming out, because I really don't think he heard that question correct, because I don't even think Trump would have answered the damn question like that. So I really don't think he understood the question that was coming out at him, just coming towards him. I don't think he truly understood that question. It is no way they prepped for that answer to be like that. No way possible. No way. I don't think he heard her correctly. Lord,
yeah. Let me just say, that's what I mean when I said that someone, whoever is writing, I mean, just whoever is having a sit down conversation with him prior to these interviews. For me, I think they know what the topic is going to be, and if not, they can look at trending topics as far as politics, and that person would have been like, whoever his advisor is. Okay, they may ask you about inflation and the price of food and groceries and stuff, and if so, this is how you should respond. And they could have given him kind of like a blanket statement, and he could have come up with something else better than that. I mean, that's one of the most ridiculous responses I've ever heard. And I hadn't heard that before you just played it.
Yeah. So I really believe, and I said this last night, that when he get briefed daily, he's get a daily brief. At the end of that goddamn brief needs to be, this is the price of these items.
Right.
So he will really, that's how reality sink in for people. People who are millionaires and billionaires, they don't know the price of groceries because they're not out there doing the grocery shopping. He's not doing the grocery shopping, but he does pay for his food in the White House. I really think that they need to tell these people the prices of the items that's out here now, not just what's going on in the whole wide world, but what is going on right here in this country right now. Grocery prices are ridiculous. People are getting laid off left and right. The tech companies are really is the one who's in front of this whole economy thing. They keep laying people off left and right, which is making things go crazy. I really think they need to have those conversations, not just the conversations on the wars that are going on. Lord, see.
I have a triple trajectory into this. My authentic self don't care what Biden said. I really don't. My
You're going in and out. Hold on. Let me let him go out and then come back. When he come back, we're gonna pause. And we're back.
So I have a 3 perspective point of view on what he said, or what was allegedly said, because I don't know if it was edited. The freedom one person of me or myself, I don't care what he said. The representative that you see now, that's normal. My third person is, I don't know if he was held at gunpoint. This is what you better say. This makes sense, I don't know. I know it's just time for us as a people. We need to figure it out. So what I want to say to the 2 panelists today, what's going to happen when the government or the powers that be that runs the government stop printing paper money and corporations can't pay their people, and it just all goes belly up. There's no more printed money. So, and then the money has lost its value. And so what's going to happen then? What are we going to do then?
Do you really think they're going to stop printing money?
I don't think they're going to stop printing money. I think anything is possible, especially when they transfer the current currency to digital currency. So, and then what? So, like I said, my first person who's the most free person, I really don't give a shit, because he don't have the answer for you and I. The representative you see now, that's normal. I expect him to say that, because they say Biden is this and Biden is that. He's old, he's senile, he's going to sleep, he's doing cocaine, and none of us have seen him do it. So we don't know. And is he being prompted? I believe the president is a puppet. So I don't know. Right. So I want to know, as a people, when are we going to figure it out without having them to figure it out or do it for us? That's where I am consciously. I'm done.
Okay. I just wanted your take on that, because that is our president saying that we do have the money to purchase these items. We're just spoiled brats that we have to pay more money for the items. And Yeah, I may have the money to purchase those items, but why the hell do I have to pay extra money for the items? That was the same item that I bought last week that is now $3 more. Why do I have to pay $3 more for it? But I still don't see the cashier, her rate of pay did not go up this year. Or they're still cutting they're
Staff
still
and
cutting
yep,
jobs, they're still
yep.
cutting staff. I'm now having to check out my own stuff. So, when my groceries are maybe $120 when I go through the cashier line, but when I check out on my own, it's $50 and I buy the same damn thing. So that's how I take care of that 30% increase. I just get a 30% discount when I go through self checkout.
And I want to say for the record today, I went to Five and Below today because they have a certain taffy that I like.
Mm-hmm.
And Five and Below here in Maryland has closed all their self checkouts because so now the personnel is in the store, whether it's one person or not, they now have to ring you up because theft is so high.
And you wonder why. You wonder why. Because the Dollar Tree is not the Dollar Tree anymore. It's the $2 tree now.
Right,
It's the $3 tree now, the $3 bill store. It is
right.
now that because the price of everything has gone up so high. So high. It is ridiculous. But you're still laying off jobs. You're still lying about unemployment. The unemployment rate, they say, is the lowest. I don't agree with that. That is a lie. For someone who hire people on a daily basis, and I have one position for a corporate role that's open and over 600 applicants come through within 24 hours, I know the economy is bad. They are lying to us. They are lying. Did you have something to say, Golden One? I'm sorry.
No, I'm good.
I do want to interject.
Go right ahead.
I don't know if the panelists that I'm looking at right now remember when I can't remember his names, but he was the Speaker of the House when President Obama was the president, and him and Michelle had gotten into it. And he had told the Congress that 15 to 20 years from now, and I'm thinking this was 2011, 2012, he said there will be the gap between the rich class and the middle class will be even wider.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at all of this, and is this the, I always confused. Is this the evolution of America? Is this our destiny, and are we allowing this to become our reality?
As far as what?
Uh, Sarbanes, I think his name was Sarbanes. I hope I'm saying that right. Well, he was the speaker. He was the leader of the House, and he said, 15 to 20 years from now, the middle class will be diminished, and the rich class will have most of the power, and the poor and what's left of the middle class would just still fall into place. So is this part of that process that I'm thinking?
Possibly. Possibly. I don't know if that would ever happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's been the same way for years. For
It
years.
has.
And I don't know if that would ever happen. Or I don't know if they would ever allow it to happen. As far in when you go back to what you were saying about the printing money thing and stop printing money, I don't know if the government would ever allow things like that to ever happen. I don't know.
Well, they started.
Of what? Stop printing money. Now they're trying to do everything digital. And so
Yes,
there is a backlash on that too as well. So
absolutely.
now companies are charging, if you use a credit card or your debit card, they're charging you additional price because they are wanting you to pay with cash now.
Absolutely.
So they are
And
encouraging you to pay for cash because they get charged every time you use your credit card. They get charged and they don't want to pay that additional 3.5% interest that they pay every time you swipe your card. Every time you swipe your card, the credit card companies charge the businesses, small business, large businesses,
mhm.
a percentage for you using your card. And so
and
now
I
it's cheaper if you pay with cash now.
And I understand that. And when they implemented the debit card with the chip in it, that's because they knew currency was going to diminish. So when the consumer is intelligent enough to understand that, because all consumers are not intelligent enough to understand that, and they
Mhm.
figure it out. I go into Walmart and I buy a dozen of eggs and some vegan burgers and da da da, and it's $15, but I'm paying $20 because I'm paying for these fees for using my card. That's gonna be a two-edged sword.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's the same as, like, we have people at Wells Fargo and Bank of America now. Their money has gone digital. So at the end of the month, some of my friends up here, they get a digital statement every month now from those banking institutions.
Yes.
So
So
a lot of currency is, being done away with. I heard the Economist the other day on MSNBC. The American dollar is depreciating in value faster than he can change his underwear. So not everyone,
oh.
in my opinion, not as a society or a country that is very arrogant, I could see that causing a civil war because we're so arrogant and some of us are so entitled.
Mhm.
So if head of families are choosing to buy bread instead of getting their prescription or buying a brand new car, da da da, what is tomorrow going to bring, and why are we allowing the dysfunction that's going on as far as the economics in our country, that we as a citizen, because the Constitution say we the people, it's supposed to be us running the government not running us. So
That's why they say they vote. That's why we have a
exactly.
vote. That's what they say.
Okay, and that's true. However, if you can break into the Capitol building and steal the Electoral College computer and do what you want, or if Trump is saying he was the winner in 2020 or whatever the world it was, and he's still standing on that, does our vote have power? Because 1,000 of us can go vote based on the state you live in. If you have 16 electoral college in your state, and the state of Maryland has, I think, 5. Florida may have 16 or something like that, depending on the size. That's who is the winner. The electoral college choose the president, not our vote.
Mhm.
And when I learned that, I was like, okay, well, who phrased that? We've been hoodwinked and duped again. And
Yeah.
Americans, particularly my people, are thinking because you went and vote that you're choosing the president. That is not true. Because in 2016, I know damn well we didn't choose Trump.
No. They
Nah.
did. They did.
Exactly. So
I think
back
they
to your
did.
question. Does our vote really count when we have this thing called the electoral college?
I think our vote counted because we had President Obama in office, and I know I voted for him.
Okay, so let me say this to you. I did the research on President Obama, and President Obama was allowed to be the president, and that's all I'm going to say on that. He was allowed.
I think he earned that presidency, and that's just my
No,
opinion.
I
And
didn't
that's
say he didn't earn. I didn't say he didn't earn.
hmm
A brilliant African American man, brilliant. But based on the documentary and stuff that I saw and the people that were close to him, he was allowed to be the president.
But aren't they all?
Yes, they're all, because they're funneled through a certain organization. But I remember specifically there was an altercation between a white cop and a black African American young man in Philadelphia.
Hmm.
President Obama wanted to invite both of the individuals to the White House to sit down and drink a beer and have a conversation so the issue could be resolved. He chose not to because he did not want the powers to be to have a white man sitting with a black man in the White House having a conversation that people have, that woke people have all the time. So that's why I said that was one indicator for me saying, okay, he was allowed. And then when Michelle wrote the book and she was sitting there with Oprah, and Oprah asked, what was it like being in the White House for 8 years? And she gave Oprah that look like, bitch, I, I did the first 4 years. I didn't want to do the second 4, but that's what my husband wanted. And it was miserable. Those were her words.
Mm-hmm.
So what was going on behind those words? Now, she didn't say bitch because she has decorum, but when she looked at Oprah, she said, yeah, girl, when this camera's off and we it's just you and I, we drinking our whiskey and eating our potato chips, I'm gonna tell you some shit, okay? That's what it looked like to me. And I never forget when Michelle, she had gotten Thanksgiving of his second term. He had stopped smoking. The president stopped smoking. The leader of the House, Sarbanes, I think his name was, whoever he was, he handed Barack a pack of cigarettes. Michelle had slapped the cigarettes out of his hand and looked at him as if, why in the hell would you offer my husband cigarettes when you know he just quit?
This is on video?
Yes, it is. It was on the national news.
What was his name?
I'm saying Sarbanes, but it's not Sarbanes. It's O'Brien or the speaker was President Obama's first term.
I think it was Ryan.
Yes. And that made news. And you remember the time when she told Trump that, in so many words, she was gonna whoop his ass because he was endangering her girls?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So I knew then it wasn't what it was for us to make to believe. When, remember, they got in trouble because he took a vacation one of those years ago. They went to Spain and somebody said that they were spending American tax money going on vacation. And it was a big deal to the point Michelle didn't want to go. Huh?
It was Speaker of the House. Who was it?
It was John Boehner.
John Boehner. That's that devil name.
Boehner. And it's spelled like B-O, I believe.
Yeah.
Like B-O-H, I think.
And she did not like him. But she had to, I thought she under the pressure she was on, she did her best. She held her decorum, and you know her saying is, when they go low, we go high. But there was times she had her slip. The black woman came out of her. She had a slip up. She was protecting her man and she was protecting her girls.
They don't say slap. They say or hit. It says eye roll.
Yes, exactly. But I read between the lines. She wanted to slap the hell out of him. Because as a black woman protecting your partner, you be like, okay, this bitch is acting stupid, or I don't know if I can say this on YouTube, but this person is acting stupid. And she looked at him like, what are you doing? I just got my husband to quit smoking. Why would you offer him a cigarette? That made news here in the DMV.
It was during the Thanksgiving dinner, right? You said during Thanksgiving. Yeah, they said, but they say it's an eye roll. It was an eye roll. Hold on.
Absolutely. As she said, when this camera's off, I'm gonna get that ass. And that was like, I remember that. So right, that's where it was. Yep, sure was. So I'm saying, and then remember they had made T-shirts where they was calling him monkey.
Who? President Obama or John Boehner?
No, President Obama.
Okay. They call that man a lot of things.
And right. So in a free country, or a country that has a democracy and where you are citizens, as a president, should you have to endure that?
No, it should be. It's disrespectful, but I would say I'm not giving them a pass, but I know I have called Trump, George W. a lot of things why they was president.
Absolutely,
A
you
lot
did,
of
but
it.
it was not
And
on social. It was not on mass. It was not on mass social media.
I could have. I wasn't on the platform then, but I am now. So let's wait
Exactly.
to November of 2024 and see what happens.
Exactly. So now a lot of people today won't even call his name. They'll say number 45 or Carrot Top.
Or orange. That's what Mama calling the orange man.
Exactly. And so my question go back to why we as a people in this day and time, 2024, can't say what we authentically feel and say if we have in the Constitution the freedom of speech without fearing
The
being
cancel.
blacklisted, retaliated against, or even our lives taken away from us.
But you really feel that it's okay for some people just to say prejudice stuff because that's just what they want to say?
No, I don't. No, me personally, no, I don't. That's why I said to Golden about 30 minutes ago, she and I, we can sit at the coffee table and I can drink my water, she can drink whatever, or we get in the car and have a conversation. We can go at each other's throat all day long. At the end of the day, we kiss and make up and keep going. That's the purpose of that. Not on these mass social media platforms where you're just ugly, because we none of us are beneath it or above it.
Mm-hmm.
We have feelings. We get mad. We get angry. We say things out of anger. We say things out of hurt. We say things out of just being downright just tired and exhausted.
Yes.
Not necessarily we meant it, but that's what we felt in
that moment.
But we have to have enough godly sense to say, okay, we're in one of our houses and we talking to one another, and nobody has to know we said it.
Yeah, I think
we
that's
said it. Exactly. We say it and we kiss and make up and go to hell about our business because I was just getting something off my chest that day, or you were getting something off her chest, or Golden was getting something off her chest. That's how she felt. That's how she believed. And it is what it is. It's like that thing between Monique and Steve. I don't think that should have been on Steve's show. That should have been at Monique's house and Steve's house. They had their conversation. They toast to it or whatever. And they went on about their business.
Yeah. But it wasn't.
Okay. I'm gonna be quiet. Go ahead, Golden One.
Oh no, I'm good. I don't really have anything to add to that. I agree with what you said, especially the ending. You know that we don't use mass platforms to basically degrade a person, but we can talk about it and say whatever we want to in the privacy of our own space.
Absolutely.
Yes, I agree. Sometimes, because I do use this platform to not degrade people, but to make fun of people. I do. I'm sorry, that's what I do. But let's leave on a funny note. Because
we just got here.
It's been an hour. Let's see. It's been an hour. You can catch on his own YouTube station coming to a platform near you. An hour. Okay. So we're gonna leave on a funny note. Well, for me, I thought it was humorous. So
what are we finally having this year? What are we finally having?
So these two people are dating. And they said that they're having a baby. Now, I don't know. I don't think that she's with child. Maybe somebody else is with child. But they are dating. And people don't think that they are a real couple. But they are. I think he is a little delusional. I think he is actually maybe in the closet, but that's just my opinion. But they are dating. So there's love out there for someone.
I'm just going to laugh because I know a lot of people on these platforms that I know nothing about. They're getting their bag. God bless them.
Right, and that was my first thought too. And then, like, how do we know that they're really a real couple? Like, they may be doing this for money.
Absolutely. So
they have a full page if they're not a couple, they are business partners because their full page is, let's see. They look like they got married.
Yeah, they may just have a business arrangement.
And my whole thing is when you do stuff like that, like your opinion was he could be same gender loving, and some racist redneck were like, why is she with that black man, that nigga, or some black person say, why is he with that honky, because people just won't let people be who they are, and that's another thing. Not all platforms are healthy platforms, because those negative comments, and I know you like those negative trolls, but I don't like that. I'm like, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing to me at all.
No, you can say whatever you got to say because I get paid from them trolls, so it doesn't matter.
Right. No, and I understand. I say, but doesn't mean it's not toxic
They
because
just
you get paid.
kiss.
Okay. Well, God bless them.
They together.
Well, I just hope the baby's healthy.
I don't think she is with child. I really don't think she is with child. But
she might not be as old as she looks. How old is she?
I don't know.
Yeah, she may not be as old as she looks.
Yeah, because they have skin
Black
issues.
don't crack, but that is she is old. She is past the 50s.
Hey, it's somebody for everybody.
Yes,
it is. It is. It is. It's another couple that's on the reverse side. And hold on, I'll pull them up in a minute. But that is on the reverse side of this. It's a black girl and a white man. And they get backlash too as well. I think he's about to fall off. Go to homecoming, go meet his maker. And she is just starting her life, and he bought her a Piggly Wiggly.
All right now.
I just say to each his own.
To each his own.
Yeah, that's what I say too. I
love everybody.
I love and let love.
Yes. Love is love.
Yep, and I love and let love. So to each his own. If they found love and if they're happy, I'm happy for their happiness.
Absolutely.
I don't want nobody telling me about me and mine.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No, I think sometimes the line needs to be damn drawn. I'm sorry.
But who has the power to draw the line for someone else and what they do?
They do. Huh? They have the power. Oh, I messed it up. They have the power.
The store as is. Everything is still the same, still Piggly Wiggly.
But she calls him Mr. Charlie or whatever his name is.
And I know for me personally, if my boo bought me a Piggly Wiggly, I wouldn't be putting it on social media.
Exactly.
You wouldn't put the Piggly Wiggly on social media, or you wouldn't put them on social media?
No, I wouldn't. It wouldn't be a point made on social media. Now, my family, my friends may know, but it's not something I'm putting on mass social media. Whatever my boo bought for me, that's our business.
Well, she put the whole relationship on social media.
It's now okay. So my question is now, I didn't say it out loud, but it's running through my head. Is she a gold digger? Did she know he was going to die? Or are they?
The other man? Is the other man?
No. Is she a gold digger? And did she know that he was going to expire soon? Or are they just genuinely fell in love with one another?
I think they are. I think he is in love with her.
And all that's good. Thank you, God. However, I wouldn't have put all that on social media. I personally wouldn't have. I would kiss my boo and call it a day, and I'm like, thank you, and live my life.
Well, I'm glad they put it on social media.
Then and then people who put all the I got this much money, I made this, so I own this, then they put it on social media. And then when they get robbed, then they're looking crazy. Why do we have to do that?
Not even putting it on social media these days, you can still get robbed.
No, but I'm saying social media is a platform that's very vulnerable.
Yes, yes, yes. And I don't think, I mean, maybe he is like, maybe he has some coins. But she wanted to make more coins because she making money off this social media platform of her 102-year-old husband.
And I'm like I said, I'm happy for her. I'm just saying, I as an individual, I would not have put that on a social media platform. That's all.
Yes.
I would
But
have
you
went on and
on social
go
media
ahead.
because you're not on social media.
Even if I wasn't, you wasn't gonna know that.
Why?
Because it ain't none. First of all, it ain't none of nobody's business, and number two, you make yourself a target.
Nothing wrong with it though, is it? Because you said it's nothing wrong with it though, right?
For them, it's nothing wrong with. For me, I wouldn't have done it. That's what I'm saying. For me, I wouldn't have done it. It's nobody's business, and I don't want myself or him to be a target. So people, because people own Piggly Wigglies, don't make them have money.
I said maybe I didn't say he did have money.
I'm not talking about what you said. This is my personal statement. This is what I believe. I know people who have tons of businesses, and they don't have a lot of money. So I'm saying,
Wiggly too. They sold the Piggly Wiggly because it
so
wasn't.
I think your financial status is your business. If you choose to put it on Facebook, Facebook, Instagram, MySpace, whatever the shit is, that's your business. I'm saying, me personally, I would not have done that. I'm not going to tell nobody my boo just bought me a mansion in Malibu. I'm just not going to do that. That's nobody's business.
She wanted to show off.
Right.
All
No,
right.
right. And all right.
Now it's time
to say goodbye
to all my family. Until we meet again, make sure to subscribe, like, and share. And don't forget the notification button. And leave your comments below. We'll be sure to get back with you. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings. Namaste, everyone. Good night.